opinion, we should be wary of any entity in which both of those things are combined, whether it's through one way or the other. And that's why emphasis in democratic socialism is on democracy. And it's not about, it's just as much a transformation about bringing democracy to the workplace so that we have a say and that we don't check all of our rights at the door every time we cross the threshold into our workplace. Because at the end of the day, as workers and as people of society, we're the ones creating wealth, not a corporate CEO. It's not a CEO that's actually creating $4 billion a year. It is the millions of workers in this country that's creating billions of dollars of economic productivity a year. And our system should reflect that.
You did an interview with Glenn Greenwald for The Intercept last summer in which you gave perhaps the most eloquent description of identity politics that I've ever heard as someone.
At the end of the day, I'm a candidate that doesn't take corporate money, that champions Medicare for all, a federal jobs guarantee, the abolishment of ICE, and a Green New Deal. But I approach those issues with the lenses of the community that I live in. And that is not as easy to say as identity politics, but I think it's something that our constituents understand on a very deep level.
And I feel like my perspective on this was really shaped by where I came from in the Bronx, because it took so much effort in my community to get people to even vote, because they have been burned so many times, and they've been burned by politicians that look like them. And so in the Bronx, there's just this idea, that it's just like, it really doesn't matter. And there's all of this cynicism that resulted from electing people, that ethnically matched the community, but once they got into power, advanced the same agenda that was marginalizing the community to begin with. And so there was a lot of cynicism about that. And the thing that creates hope about the situation is the joining of the two things, is that you can have someone from the community that understands the experience actually advocate for the policies and the positions that can change our future. So they're not, separable things. I don't think that I truly do not believe that if I ran on a platform that was more moderate, I would not have won my election. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have. And thanks. And because it has to be not just a superficial alternative or something that looks different. It has to be something that actually is different. And it has to be different on many levels. Yes, it's different in my identity, and my experiences with my community inform and add, a different perspective to the positions that I hold and to the policy that I hold. Because it goes the other way, because you can't have just a progressive position like Medicare for all without an understanding of race, because then you do get back to that position that you were talking about earlier, where communities say, oh, this is for me. Mm-hmm. This is for somebody else. People aren't thinking about me when you're drafting this plan, and because you aren't thinking about me, then when it gets implemented, we're going to get left behind again. And it's going to be a benefit for somebody else. And so to be able to articulate both of these things, both of these arguments at once, to be able to talk about how criminal justice reform, or rather like the war on drugs, was an economic agenda, it educates people. And that's really what we need. We really just need to be educating ourselves right now about how we've gotten to this place.
Well, I would love to